Welcome to Lessons in Leadership. I'm Val Grubb, and this week I'm offering up 3 tips on how to resolve conflict with a fellow employee. It's pretty normal to experience conflict with another employee in the office. I mean, people do annoying things, right? When annoyances rise, though, to the level where they're affecting my ability to get my job done, or others are noticing that there is bad blood, shall we say, between me and another employee, then it's time to create a plan to resolve the conflict, including talking with the other person. Right? Now, I always like to say, I know again how scary that sounds, but I always like to caveat that by saying that the other person may not be aware that their behavior is bothering you. So try to keep an open mind instead of assuming the worst. Now, once you schedule a meeting for a time and place that's going to be free of interruptions, here are 3 tips for ensuring that progress happens when resolving conflict. Step 1, focus on specific facts, not on vague points or personalities. During your meeting, describe specific instances, don't generalize, when you felt slighted by the other person. Speak from your perspective and how you feel. So instead of saying, when you don't invite me to drinks with the team, I don't feel like I'm part of this department. Instead, I would reword that to say, when I'm not invited to drinks with the team, I don't feel like I'm part of this department. Can that always be avoided? No. As an example, when you constantly interrupt me during meetings, I feel undervalued. So try where you can. But after sharing your perspective, listen to what the other person is saying instead of getting ready to react to it. Let me say that again. Listen to understand their perspective on the situation, not to react or to respond. After the other person finishes speaking, restate what they said to make sure you understood it. Ask questions to clarify your understanding, and then summarize what you agree on and talk about where you disagree. Reconfirm the other person's perspective. Ask the other person if they agree with your assessment. Modify that assessment until both of you agree on the areas of conflict that you need to focus on. Step 2, prioritize those areas of conflict. Discuss what area each of you thinks is most important to resolve. Clarify why it's important for both of you to resolve this conflict. Maybe it's affecting your staff or coworkers. Maybe your bosses have gotten wind of your inability to work together. Lots of reasons why it's important that you resolve this conflict. Focus on those areas that are of greatest concern to the company, your department, and the mission. Step 3, develop a plan to work on each area of conflict. Start with the most important area of conflict. Perhaps agree that you'll be civil to one another in meetings versus clearly butting heads in front of others. Maybe agree to stop undercutting each other's suggestions. So again, come up with specific actions that you can do differently. Focus on the future. Clarify again how resolving the conflict is going to help the company and your respective careers. Talk about options that each of you could take instead that will feel less harsh to the other person. Think in terms of us working together so we both win. Set up future meetings to continue your discussions. Now, as you move through this process, celebrate your wins and build on that success to tackle all the items on your list where you have conflict. It's possible that you and the other party may find yourselves in an impasse, perhaps because the conflict is potentially contentious or because you just don't know how to proceed. If that happens, bring in a third party to moderate or facilitate. HR, legal, perhaps a vice president who you know is really good at persuasion and influence and resolving conflict. You know what? Sometimes you just need a little help to keep things moving forward in a productive manner. I know a lot of information in this Lessons in Leadership. It's a tough subject for sure, but something you need to master as you move up within an organization. Because it's not bad managers that have conflict, it's every manager that has conflict. It's the good ones, though, that are able to resolve it and move forward. Best of luck, and as always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll answer them all. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week.